I'm 𝘍𝘰𝘯𝘵, and you're listening to the Queens of Tech podcast, a podcast series about raising the voice of workplace champions. 60 plus questions in around 30 to 40 minutes with women of color, non-binary, and transgender influencers about their journey into STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I started the Queens of Tech podcast initiative in May 2022 because I would like to retain more women of color, non-binary, and transgenders in the tech industry. Talent is out there, but our work environment needs to improve for all to feel safer, stay authentic, and to be valued for our contributions. My vision is to raise the workplace ecosystem for all in tech by killing the imposter syndrome, stopping bad behavior, and increasing equity opportunities. Each podcast talk is built around 60 plus questions regarding upbringing, education, career path, DIB, and future advice. My mission is to bridge the gap between schools and workplaces by getting into the heart of my guest's personal life and career journey to inspire other girls, women of color, non-binary, and transgenders to unleash their full potential to reach top leadership roles in the tech industry. My goal is to raise the voices of tech champions around the world and together with companies, investors, and politicians, raise the challenges and opportunities around equity, inclusive, diversity, and belonging in our workplaces. Enough is enough. I would like to enforce companies to build a sustainable, inclusive culture, to retain diverse talent so we keep the workforce power equity to continue building future diverse and inclusive products. Representation matters. Your voice matters. In this episode, I'm very excited to welcome my guest, Tech Queen Natia Kvaratskhelia, Chief Operation Officer at iKnow. Hi, Natia.
Hello, Jasmine.
I'm very happy to have you joining us all the way from Georgia. How are you?
I'm in a perfect mood and I'm glad to visit you. We will have a successful and valuable conversation.
I'm very glad and very excited. So let us dive into your journey into STEM. Hope you're ready for the Queens of Tech 60 plus questions.
Let's start.
Let's warm up with a few fun facts about you. How would you describe your personality in 3 hashtags?
Be smart, challenger, and helper.
How would you summarize your life in 3 sentences?
Don't give up. If no result, make it work. Follow through to the end and smile. Life is beautiful.
What kind of music stimulates and motivates you the most?
Jazz, country.
What is your personal motto?
Remind myself that I can achieve more.
What is your favorite book?
Mysterious Island by Jules Verne. It was my first book and I was only 8 years old. I still remember my emotions, feelings, how I accepted what would happen on the next page.
And what is your favorite podcast?
Difficult for me to single out a specific one. It's important to be interesting and inspiring, to teach something new about leadership, coaching, etc.
Mac or PC?
PC and Android.
There's something interesting about you that most people don't know.
I love extreme street racing, and one of my dreams is to be a pilot.
Cool, and you should do it. You can get your own small pilot license.
Maybe.
What is your hidden talent?
I can crying about everything, everywhere. I think sometimes it's so funny.
And if you were going to write a book about your life, Natia, what would the title be?
It will be a 𝘋𝘰𝘯𝘵 girl with a big potential.
Great start. Now, let us dig deeper. Our childhood has a profound effect on our adulthood. Our early experiences shape our belief about ourselves, others, and the world. Now, I want to discover your childhood. Where did you grow up, and how did it shape your early experiences?
I was born in a beautiful seaside city named Sukhumi. I am from a small country, Georgia, with a total population just 3.5 million. Also, 20% of our country is occupied by Russia now. We were forcibly evicted from my town, and even today, 31 years later, I have status refugee in my own country. However, all this history in my family teach me that to never give up and find a way out of any situation.
And what was your dream job when you were a child?
I wanted to become a doctor or a judge to help people and restore justice.
And what was your favorite subject in school?
Mathematics,
What was your least favorite subject?
physics, and chemistry.
What is your earliest memory of technology and the arrival of the internet?
I had my first computer 18 years ago. I was very happy that my parents bought it for me and I can do something for my study and for university. I became interested in IT technologies and digital industry about 10 years ago. At first time I was in the field of finance industry, then I changed direction. So I am so glad for this decision.
And during that period of time, who was your female role model growing up and what about her inspired you?
I don't have one specific role model. I just know from childhood that I must be a strong, successful, and independent woman.
And Natia, based on everything you said to us now, how do you think where you grew up and the school you went to and the generation you come from influence your education and career choice?
Of course, where you grow up and develop is of great importance in the formation of our personality.
So let us now dig into your career. But before that, I'm going to read two quotes. First one, how does the universe expect me to choose a career path at 16? I can't even choose what I want for dinner. Second, Abraham Lincoln said, I quote, the best way to predict your future is to create it. So where and what did you end up studying at university?
I study in Georgia at the Tbilisi State University. I have a bachelor's and master's degree in business administration. Now, when I changed my direction to digital industry, I have many courses and online courses about digital and about leadership and management.
When what influenced you to get into your choice of field then?
I made it myself. My family always supported me and gave me a complete freedom in making decisions about my career.
And what professional roles have you had before that led you to the current one?
I was an accountant in my first job. Then I was a financial manager. After that, I changed my direction in digital world and I became a software specialist consultant and then analyst, project manager and team lead, support lead, and so on. And now I am a chief operation officer, a CEO at company I know.
So what does I know do?
We are IT consulting company and our service included business process analysis and documentation, custom development, implementation, support, staff outsourcing, API integrations. We have been providing our services since 2012 and we make solutions of Georgian market, Azerbaijan and Armenia.
And you did mention that your title is COO. What is your main responsibilities?
Creating a strategic planning and permanent environment of operational process, taking care of my employees' mood, improvement of corporate culture, taking care of customer satisfaction. It's my everyday job.
How did you get your current role?
I sent my CV. I was interview and testing and I get my job.
And what does a typical workday or work week look like for you?
My days are a mix of board meeting, team meeting, meeting with client company, also strategic planning, also caring for self-development and my employees, and also staying updated to the last advancement.
And I love the quote, choose a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life. So Natia, what do you love the most about your role?
I like this job and this industry because helping others to grow as a leader. And in our industry is endless possibilities and opportunities. Also, opportunity to solve client companies' real problems, which gives me the greatest pleasure.
So what has been the best experience you've had in your current role so far? Any examples you can share with us?
On one of the important projects in which we had the problems. And once again, I realized that when you really want something, work hard for it. Together with our team, there is always a solution. The main thing is not to be afraid. You will definitely find the right path. We successfully complete this project.
And what is the biggest challenge that you have encountered so far and how did you end up tackling it?
In today's fast-changing world, the most difficult thing is for me probably keeping a work-life balance every day and with family, friends, career. It's so hard.
And what do you wish everybody understood about your role?
I think that when you are a leader, a specific position is not important. The main thing is to be a professional and constantly develop on your position. Also, technology leadership is not just about technical skills, but about bringing people and ideas together.
And what is the one common myth about your professional field that you want to disapprove?
Maybe that leaders are all about coding, while technical knowledge is cruel. Leadership in tech is about vision, strategy, and improving teams. Also, that means are more professional in technical skills. I think the most important thing is professionalism and not gender.
What do you love about working in the tech industry?
That's always a new challenge, a new technology to explore, or new problems also.
Oprah Winfrey said, I quote, think like a queen. A queen is not afraid to fail. Failure is not a stepping stone to greatness. So, what has by far been your biggest achievement in your career?
Constantly self-developing and getting out of the comfort zone. I don't forget that difficulty can be overcome, and I don't like to give up. All this affects the result of me and the company. However, it should be noted that I have many more success ahead of me, and I have not yet achieved greatest result.
And what is the biggest factors help you become successful? What are your success habits?
Continuous learning and adaptability. I decide to dedicate time often to explore new technologies and industry trends about new approaches of leadership. Also, I think discipline is more important than motivation.
And how do you measure your own performance at work knowing you're successful or not?
With a specific financial indicator and performance indicators. I plan which indicator should be changed by what percentage. I plan a relevant strategic plan and work in this direction.
And with success comes failures. What would you say is your biggest failure in your career and what did you end up learning from it?
Failure is bad, also at the same time good. There is always a possibility that something will go wrong, and I have done it many times. Mistakes are normal. The main things is to admit the mistake, understand the reason, and find the next course of action. For fear of make mistakes, don't stop, don't retreat back. Instead of regretting not doing something, it's better to try and fail. And also, don't give up.
What would you say is inspiring and motivating you the most in your role and career right now?
Successful completion of complex projects, motivated and enthusiastic employer or client. Also, remind myself that I can achieve more.
Let us now jump into the influence of mentors, role models, champions, and sponsors. For our listeners, role models can consciously or subconsciously be a powerful force in our lives. In addition, champions can stand up and advocate for us and open up the world of possibilities. Sponsors match emerging talent with leaders and influential employees who can help us move ahead in our careers. So Natia, do you have a mentor, champion, or a sponsor today?
I don't have one specific role model or champion. I just know from childhood that I must be a strong, successful, and independent woman. And I think that one person could not motivate us.
And history shows that it's been more common for men having mentors, champions, and sponsors in business than women. How important do you think is to have a mentor, champion, or sponsors through one's career?
I think imagining how I see myself in the future gives me inspiration and motivations. It's important to have someone or something to motivate us, but those role models are great if these small role models are ourselves.
Let us move on to leadership. Adena Friedman, President and CEO of Nasdaq, said, I quote, "Empowering those around you to be heard and valued makes a difference between a leader who simply instructs and one who inspires." And Shirley Sandberg, ex-COO of Facebook, said, I quote, "Leadership is about making others better as a result of your presence and making sure that the impact lasts in your absence." So Natia, what does leadership mean to you?
In my opinion, a leader should have many skills together, can constantly improve it. For example, the responsibilities, courage, justice, education, new leaders, and important things seeing the big picture to make a strategic plans.
And what distinguishes a good leader from a bad leader?
Every leaders face challenges every day. It's how we deal with them and whether or not we reflect on the mistakes we have made each time. I think a good leader has the ability to properly manage the situation and see the future, use the most of the leadership skill, can develop it, and it takes a lot of hard work. However, it is a fact that when a person wants, he will definitely be able to be a leader in his work. And main is hard work and smart work.
And who is your favorite female, non-binary, or transgender tech leader, and why?
I would name my colleagues from my country, one not known in the international market.
So now, how would you describe yourself as a leader?
I have the most of these skills as I talked about in the previous questions about leadership. However, I also realize they can be constantly improved, and I try to do my best. Let's see, after several years, what will be my success story.
And as a leader, what values do you prioritize the most?
A good leader should have courage, respect, innovation, integrity, self-awareness, professionalism. These values drive our technological advancement and shape our company culture and drive.
And what leadership lessons have you learned, Natia, that have shaped you into the leader you are today?
Embracing failure as a learning opportunity and the importance of building diverse teams for more innovative solutions.
What are your 3 strengths and 3 weaknesses?
My strengths are strategic planning, focus on results, and analytic skills. Also, the ability to love. My weaknesses are emotionality, sometimes overthinking, and jealousy.
Let us now jump into the hottest topic in business today, workplace culture, unlocking the power of diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. So Natia, what do diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging mean to you personally?
The cornerstone of innovations and the progress in tech. They ensure we are leveraging diverse perspectives to create truly inclusive and impactful solutions.
And what do you consider being 3 to 5 signs of good company culture if you were to join another company tomorrow?
Open communication, commitment to continuous learning, focus on the work-life balance, and empathy on diversity and inclusion, and clear career growth.
And as a woman, what has been the most significant political or cultural barrier in your career, and how have you overcome these challenges?
The persistent stereotype that women are not technically competent, I overcome it by consistently delivering quality work, and I think no matter gender or professionals.
And how do you discuss DIB challenges such as salary gaps, promotions, or maternity leave with your colleagues, peers, and community?
I approach this discussion with data-driven arguments and personal stories, impressing how addressing these issues benefits to the entire organization.
And there are many public and internal discussion about the barriers women of color, non-binary, and transgender individuals face from reaching higher position or receiving funding in the tech industry. How have these issues affected you, and what is your advice on overcoming these roadblocks?
Often we women limit ourselves. Maybe it's because our family upbringing or environmental factors. These barriers are real and persistent. My advice will be build a strong support network, continuously upskills, and don't be afraid to advocate for yourself and for your team members.
And today, tech companies invest heavily in marketing, attracting women of color, non-binary, and transgender individuals, but they're struggling to retain them. Articles show that women are leaving the tech industry. What is your best advice or strategies where companies can work to build a stronger corporate culture that engages DIB?
Implement mentorship program, ensure equal pay and promotion opportunities, create inclusive working environments, offer flexible work arrangements, celebrate diverse role model in the company.
That is great advice. What would you say are the key challenges of implementing a DIB culture in a workplace and in the tech industry today?
Overcoming deeply ingrained barriers, confidence, belief in her own abilities, work-life balance, responsibilities to them family, for example, husbands, children, and others, measuring the real effect of DAB initiatives.
Why do you think it's important for more women of color, non-binary, and transgender to join the tech industry today?
I will repeat the same again. In my opinion, gender does not matter. The main thing is professionalism, and we ourselves must believe in it to show our abilities to others. Especially today, there are many opportunities for women to study, for example, online. They can compete with anyone.
And how do you think companies would benefit from not just having women of color, non-binary, and transgender leaders, but actually higher gender representation at C-suite level and boardrooms with a voice like yourself?
I believe diverse leadership brings varied perspectives, leading to more innovative solutions and better representative of the diverse customer base.
That is great. But why do you think is the main reason we still see few women of color, non-binary, and transgender leaders in tech leadership roles and as startup founders still today?
I think the following barriers are persistent in hiring and promotion, lack of visible role models, and inadequate support system for career advancement. In my opinion, we women limit ourselves.
There's another concern, and that is that the data reveals a trend of low funding rates for startups led by women, with only 1 to 2% of the funding directed towards women in the tech industry. Black and Latina women in particular receive less than 1%. You might not have been in a funding round yourself, but what factors do you believe contribute to this imbalance, and what strategies can be achieved to increase funding for women-led startups?
The involvement of women is increasing. For example, in recent years, percentage increases from 14 to 20%, and at Asia continent of 23%. Age groups below 24%, and I think in the near future, the number of women in leading positions will also increase. Because this is trend for last years, many women tech industry, digital industry, and we can do more than now. Example, our company ratio is 17% on 30%, and 70% we are women in our company.
How much do you think the tech industry has changed regarding DIB since you joined?
The increase in participation rate of women indicates that changes are taking place and will accelerate even more changes few years.
And looking back on your own career, what one thing would you have changed in your working environment to break the bias?
I like to think about the possibilities of the future and not about what I did not do in the past.
So then, looking forward, what actions will you take as a leader to reduce bias and improve DIB for the next generation?
More communicate and leadership up skills.
Let us move on to another hot topic in business today, which is work-life balance and mental health. You have undoubtedly a busy lifestyle. How do you take care of yourself to maintain good mental health?
I'm trying, but I have no work-life balance. But I care myself by healthy food, travel, relax, sleep, and I am pregnant now. And I must healthy food, and I will try my best for now.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And have you ever experienced burnout?
I think everyone had the burnout, and I want this time to listen to my body and more sleeping.
So you wish for a work-life balance. So what is your advice on how companies can create a more mentally healthy workplace in the new now?
Listen to what your employees need and use their feedback to involve. Also, increase employees' option for where, when, and how they work and communicate it more than you think you need to. And communicate is the best way to employ.
What motivates you every day to get out of bed?
Responsibilities and my passion for helping others. I feel a sense of accomplishment when I help others, and it's a very rewarding experience. Also, as I grow up, many people help me also, and it's important to me. I do the same for others.
Now, let us wrap up with a few words of wisdom and a piece of advice for our listeners. Natia, what is the best piece of advice you've been given that has helped you during setbacks in your role and career?
Best advice, don't give up, never.
And then what is the worst advice you ever received and how did you end up tackling that?
Worst advice, in other company will more salary, go on. But for me, important company culture and my team and employee and innovation and upskills for my leadership, not only salary.
And is there something you wish you would have known or a skill you wish you had when starting out in the tech industry?
Just upskill leadership.
You said that you don't look back, but if you go back in time when you were just at the beginning of your career, what advice will you give to your younger self?
No laziness and discipline.
And what advice will you give to young girls, women of color, non-binary and transgenders trying to break into STEM fields today, especially wanting to become next generation leaders and founders?
My advice for girls will be not be afraid to get uncomfortable. Don't give up. And oftentimes you may find opportunities and you think you can't do, but the trust you really can. You can achieve more and always do everything for your upskills.
Last but not least, Natia, what is next for you in your role and career in tech? What are your career aspirations?
Became an industry expert, role model leader, and to share my experience to motivate others.
I'm sure you already are, so I look forward to following your journey. So thank you very much for being a guest on the Queens of Tech podcast. Sharing your journey will without a doubt inspire change and reshape company culture for the next generation of women of color, non-binary and transgender leaders and founders in tech.
Thank you, Jasmine. Big thank you.
Thank you for listening. For more podcast episodes and to learn more about the Queens of Tech initiative and to support us, visit queensof.tech.